For more on this, I'm joined now by Congressman Hakeem Jeffries, Democrat of New York, who's also the chair of the House Democratic Caucus. Congressman, good to see you. Thank you for being with us. The president has done something unusual here. He often can be relied upon to do the wrong thing. But in this case, he's done something that some people are going to say, hey, he got this executive order out so that I can get my my federal bolster to my unemployment when Congress couldn't get its act together. What's your response to people who think that what the president did might have been a good thing?
Well, the executive order by Donald Trump is nothing more than a dog and pony show. Nobody's feeling it. The constitutional scholars are not feeling it because they know it's an unconstitutional power grab that will go nowhere once it is sued. The Republican-leaning U.S. Chamber of Commerce is not even feeling it because they know that it has done nothing meaningful in terms of dealing with the economic distress that exists all across the country. Senate Republicans, at least in part, have criticized it as well. Democratic and Republican governors aren't feeling President Trump's executive order because they know it will do nothing to help out the state and local budgets that are collapsing across the country, which will undermine the ability to provide public health, public safety, public education, public transportation, and the public good. The president's so-called executive order will even cut in the middle of a deadly pandemic with depression-like conditions in many communities, $800 per month from everyday Americans is shameful.
Talk to me about this debt issue. The debt issue comes up every now and then. Mitch McConnell has said, because this bill was stuck in the Senate, you passed it in the House, has said that he's got 20 or so members who say it's too much, it's enough, we've done enough, we can't run up the debt. This is the same Congress that passed a tax cut bill 2 years ago when a lot of us were screaming from the roofs that this is going to increase debt. And they said, no, it's not. It's going to increase economic growth and everybody's going to get $4,000 more and everybody's going to pay more taxes and it's actually going to reduce debt. It has actually had the opposite effect.
That's absolutely correct. Republicans could care less at the end of the day about the national debt. And Exhibit A is the GOP tax scam that they passed in 2017, where 83% of the benefits went to the wealthiest 1% in America without any credible justification. And in doing so, they exploded the national debt by $2 trillion. And now they want to talk about fiscal restraint in the middle of a pandemic where you've got more than 150,000 Americans who have died, more than 5 million Americans infected by the coronavirus, more than 100,000 small businesses have permanently closed. More than 55 million Americans have filed unemployment claims for the first time. I mean, what we're dealing with here is a group of Republicans who care about promoting the lifestyles of the rich and shameless, period. We are fighting as House Democrats to try to stand up for the least, the lost, the left behind, working families, everyday Americans, displaced workers, the middle class, and those who aspire to be part of it, and of course, our senior citizens. They're all about the wealthy, the well-off, and the well-connected. And that's what this moment truly reveals for the American people to see with great clarity.
You know, we always know that if you go into a recession in good shape, you often come out in better shape. But this recession is remarkable. The S&P 500 is almost at a record. We're in a recession. We've got tens of millions of people unemployed. We've got tens of millions of people food insecure. We have tens of millions of people who might actually lose their homes. But the stock market's at a record because the Fed has provided free money to businesses. And I'm not saying they shouldn't have. It's a good model. Why can't we do that on the other side for regular people?
Well, that is why we continue to fight for a meaningful congressional intervention. We passed the HEROES Act, as you noted, Ali, on May 15th. Almost 3 months ago, Republicans have done nothing. And we would provide an extension of the emergency unemployment benefits of $600 per week into next year. We would provide approximately $175 billion in assistance for homeowners and tenants struggling to pay the rent or their mortgage. We would provide food assistance to Americans who are increasingly food insecure. We would provide an additional round of direct stimulus payments of approximately $6,000 per family of 5, because we know that people are struggling in the midst of this moment. There's a lot of pain and suffering and death that the American people have experienced. That is why, led by Speaker Pelosi, we are fighting for a real congressional intervention, not a nickel and dime intervention, which is what the Republicans would like us to settle for. Meanwhile, as you've pointed out, the Fed is propping up the stock market and corporate America.